How's it going, guys? Welcome to Little Bratty Pump, my brand new fitness channel. I want to welcome everybody who's new to seeing and hearing me, and I want to welcome everybody from my channel, The Brad Rules, which is my other channel that I've been on YouTube since 2009, and I want to welcome everybody who's joining me here from that channel. I've had a lot of different types of content on there. It's a gaming channel. Right now, we've talked about so many different things, and we've talked about fitness on there before. So this is my official fitness channel. We are going to be talking about bodybuilding, things in the fitness industry, and things in fitness that I feel that you should know about, things that I feel like talking about, things that are popular, and things of that sort. So we're going to have a lot of fun on here, and I hope you guys all enjoy it. So let's jump right into our first topic, our first video, and that's about fitness and social media, and how social media, and that includes where we are right now on this current format, on this current medium, YouTube. It has completely ruined and butchered it. And, you know, there may not be any coming back from it. And then again, there may be some coming back from it, because there's going to be people who are going to be honest on here, people a lot like me. Now, I've got nothing to sell you. I've got no sponsorships, nothing like that yet. You know, and there's nothing wrong with anybody being sponsored, and there's nothing wrong with anything like that of the sort at all. I want to say that, you know, there's many positive things on social media. You have Joey Swole, for example, calling out all the ills in the gym, like certain women filming people, and also men as well, you know, but a lot of women filming guys in the gym, supposedly watching them. There's a lot of toxic gym culture out there. But you know, the number one thing that really grinds my gears is all the misinformation about telling you that you're doing everything wrong. You've got it all incorrect. So, you know, you've got the information. You see pretty much what's out there. You know, pretty much, you know, if you work out with weights, if you do resistance training, more times than not, you're going to see results. Now, of course, people are doing things incorrectly in the gym all the time. We all see it. People focus on weird things. They spend too much time on certain movements, and they obsess like over the bench press, which is, in my opinion, that is an essential movement. That is something that you should be doing some form of, I feel. You know, some type of bench press, whether it's a machine press, something that emulates some type of bench press in some sort. It doesn't have to be the Olympic bar and you doing, you know, the traditional bench press. But I feel like you should be doing a form of bench. So even though people focus way too much on this movement, there's people out there that say to not do it at all. I think that's very irresponsible. I think by telling somebody not to do the bench press, or someone saying, oh, don't do a barbell curl. Like, what the fuck? Guys, I've been doing barbell curls for, like, I even when I was working out at home. See, I am a recipient of scoliosis surgery. And, you know, just like, let's get that out of the way quickly here. You know, I don't know, like, see, I have 2 metal rods in my back. So, you know, I don't know how well that came out on camera. But the thing is, what you have to understand is I worked out even before the surgery, and I had an easy curl bar that my dad handed down to me. And I wasn't, you know, doing everything. I knew like nothing. But, you know, like, I had no idea about all these different exercises until I got myself a gym membership and really started looking into things. And I was still doing things wrong. But one thing I did know is that if I did this with an easy curl bar with plates at the end of it, my biceps would fucking grow. And by telling people not to do that movement, telling them to do, oh, you got to use cables. Hey, look, I've done cable curls. I still do rope hammer curls, which are great. And as you can see, not to toot my own horn, but I have had some relative success with my arms. And I actually just measured them not too long ago, and they are 15 inches, which is pretty decent. You know, no lies here. It's not like incredible. It's not like phenomenal. There's people out there with 20-inch arms. Yes, they're probably on steroids, but that's besides the point. You know, by telling people not to do certain things or saying that is wrong, and that's the other thing about it on Instagram. There's all these weird statistics and numbers. This is 10% more effective. This is 20% more effective. There's optimal. Everything is optimal. This is more optimal. That's not more optimal. And look, I get it. Certain things are better than other things. Are there certain movements that seem to be like way better than other movements? Yeah, I would say so. But then again, if you really do treat certain movements seriously, you know, and not like the black sheeps that they are in certain sects of the fitness world, and you actually do them correctly and you train with those movements and a full range of motion, you will see, like for example, for a leg press bastardized, right? They'll tell you on social media, oh, leg press, that's a wussy's exercise. But have you ever tried, you know, and you should do squats instead. Look, I do both. They're both in my program. I'm currently doing like a modified upper lower split. I'm doing the limb torso split, you know, and I will tell you that it is really an effective split. But I've got both things programmed in there. And I gotta say, they're both effective movements. Go into the gym next time you're gonna do your leg press. And let me tell you something. Don't load it up with as many plates as you can. If you're not able to get your knees like over here, come all the way down. I see so many people loading up on plates and there's barely any range of motion going on. I'll tell you right now, folks, I did that. I loaded up with plates at that leg press. And if you're doing it, you know, like that with, and your knees are not even getting anywhere close to your chest, then you're not going to be able to touch your chest unless you've got some fucking freaky mobility going on there. But if you're able to get anywhere close, you know, the closest, the better. Train through a full range of motion when possible. Now, there is sometimes when the mobility is going to be a problem. Like my mobility with like a military press, it's not that good. I can't get the bar to my chest, so I usually just stop right below the chin. I haven't really been doing military presses as of late. I've switched to machine presses, shoulder presses, so, you know, I feel like it's a little bit more effective. You know, and for that, you know, I don't really need that. I like the stability. You know, I have other movements. I still do a normal traditional Olympic bar bench press. So I've got my stability down. You know, there's a lot of movements that I still do in my plan that require a lot of stability. But your full range of motion may be limited. But yeah, next time you do the leg press, take those fucking plates off. Throw like, I don't know, 2 plates on there, I would say. Or not even, you know, start off by putting 1 plate on either side and train through a full range of motion. Get those knees close to that chest, and I guarantee you your quads will grow. Now, my legs are not the most impressive by any means necessary, but that's because I trained like an idiot for a very, very long time. And even on social media, you know, people would say my arms and triceps. I always knew how to train those. I really did. The one mistake I was making with them was way too much volume. I was doing, you know, like biceps and legs, doing, you know, chest and tries, and, you know, back and shoulders. I was doing that split for a very long time, and variation, and, you know, usually switching between, you know, those body parts. Usually biceps, legs, back and shoulders would always be like flipped around a lot, and usually chest and tries would always go together. But usually I would be doing 4 different exercises for my biceps. And, you know, sometimes it really was ridiculous. Like, I'm telling you, I was doing, you know, rope hammer curls, barbell curls. I was doing incline curls. And then sometimes I would even do like a drag curl or a spider curl, or I do an alternating dumbbell curl. And it was way too much volume. Let me tell you something. 4 exercises. Now, okay, mixing in a hammer curl, you know, with your bicep curl, that's how I do it on my limb split. So, you know, usually, you know, torso limb split. Usually what I do is, yeah, I do, when it comes to doing my limbs on like limb day, which is every other day because it's a 4-day split, I will usually do something smart. Like on the first day of the 2 days out of that week where I am doing my limbs, I choose it like this. I do a barbell curl, standing barbell curl. Then, you know, I'll usually then probably do something for my tries, and then switch back to my biceps, but I won't use a movement that's targeting my biceps directly. I'll go for the brachialis. So that's when I'll do a hammer curl. And then on the second day, I'm doing an incline bicep curl, but then I'm doing a rope hammer curl. And then that's it for the biceps for those 2 days. So I'm doing 2 exercises that are targeting exactly the bicep and the brachialis, because you want that brachialis to be hit. And not only that, on that second day, I take it one step further, and I started doing exercise I haven't done in a long time. And that's the reverse curl. That's for the forearms. You know, and you're hitting a little bit over here too, like right underneath the bicep, and you're hitting a little bit, you know, of the brachialis and the brachioradialis. I had to go and look that up for a moment. I knew that there was like another muscle that it was hitting, and that's like right underneath the bicep. So those are good to have. That's something else to throw in there to really spice up your arm workouts. Now, no matter what your split is. So that's what you want to do. You want to train smartly. There is so many different things out there. You need to be doing more volume. You need to do these most specific things. But do you hear the things that I named? Those are basic ass movements. They're nothing fancy. They're nothing crazy. These are not like, you don't have to take a fucking bench near the cable machines and, you know, take 2 handles and start, you know, doing curls. You could do that. Don't get me wrong. You'll see results. If you do incline curls with cables, hell, you know, you'll probably get a really nasty, you know, mind-muscle connection. It'll feel good. I like the feel of cables. I do a ton of things on cables. I said I do the rope hammer curls, right? I do face pulls. I do lateral raises with the cables. You know, I do a lot of different things. You know, I do tricep push downs with them. You know, so it really is a great thing. But there's really an overemphasis of cables when it comes to social media, and you need to be doing everything on cables. You need to be doing everything one arm at a time. You need to be doing this specific type of curl. No, you don't need to be doing that specific type of curl. You could be doing that type of curl, and probably, yeah, anything where you're going like this, you're gonna be feeling it in your bicep, you know, or you're gonna be feeling it in your brachialis muscle. You're gonna be feeling these things. Now, to me, the basics are still the best. There is a reason why these things came first. There is a reason why you see, so many big bodybuilders, so many Mr. Olympias doing these types of exercises. So it's like, yeah, stop shaming certain exercises. Stop, throwing certain exercises because they're old and they've been done before. Look, I used to kind of think the same way. Oh yeah, Secret Unlocked. This new exercise came out. It's going to be totally crazy and totally good and totally phenomenal. And look, I fell into this with Athlean X. Whatever Jeff Cavalier said was like God's word to me. And then I realized he's saying all these different exercises. And yes, he's giving you a lot of different tools. And he's also like sometimes bringing new exercises. But then I remember when he showed the King Kong curl. Does everybody remember that one? I'll put it up on the screen. Totally like ridiculous to me. Like, why do that movement? And this is where you have to like get, you have to get like 2 cables. So you got to be lucky enough to even get that in the gym. And it's like, what, you could at least do that with the cables where you go like this with the 2 handles. But he's not even saying to do that. He's like telling you to go like this, and I get it. You're probably getting a little bit of brachialis in there and stuff like that. I think that was the point of it. But I was like, wow, this man has gone too far. This man is telling us to do a King Kong curl. Now Jeff has shown some great information, but then I realized that he's not really the best when it comes to being a bodybuilder advice giver. He likes to teach movements that get you on your feet. He's very anti-machine for some reason. And that's what I'm saying. You need to be wary. You pick up tips from certain people, take them into consideration, see if they work for you. And if they do, great. Use them in your plan, write them into your plan, use it, and God bless you. But if they're not, then don't feel like just because this person has a certain amount of subscribers, you need to be listening to them. You don't need to be listening to them. You can listen to whoever you want. I mean, my advice is to listen to a little bit of everything, sprinkle it on in, see what works for you. If it works for you, you stick with it. If it doesn't stick with it, put in the fucking garbage can, bro. That's all I can say. But yeah, listen to everybody, that you can. Listen, and usually you can spot bullshit when you hear it. Usually if a movement is very, very complicated, very obscure looking, super weird, it's probably not worth your time. I've noticed that because, like I said, if you look back during the golden age of bodybuilding, if you look back, and you see people who've had success. You can even look at Chris Bumstead. Just look at some of the movements he's doing. Nothing too crazy, nothing too wild. Once in a while, he might throw in something that's a bit of a head scratcher. And you may, why does he favor this movement? Sometimes it could be like that. You might be left scratching your head why some of these guys that have had so much success are doing certain weird movements. Like Eric Janicki, that guy has such an impressive build, but some of his exercise selections are a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, if you ask me. Like, he's one of those guys where he's got to get like a bench and he's got to be doing his curls, with the cables. I mean, I don't know. Like, are we really supposed to believe that it's because and people will say, well, Eric Janicki is big and he's doing those types of curls, but I don't really think he needs to be doing those type of curls. He's enhanced, he has phenomenal genetics, and the exercise effective, sure, it said, but you don't have to do that. You don't have to fucking go so crazy in the gym and to like stack fucking 20 benches on top of it. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like, it's just a little too much, and you'll probably get the same reward doing just incline curls with the dumbbells. Trust me, use dumbbells, you're down here, you're gonna get a full stretch. That's another thing. Stretch. If you don't feel the stretch, it's no good, right? So anyway, yeah, you do that and you're gonna feel it in your biceps. You'll feel it on the eccentric and you'll feel it on the concentric, and you will feel like your biceps are about to fucking explode if you do them with dumbbells. You don't have to be doing them with cables. So it's just very interesting to me, all the information that's out there. It can make your fucking head spin. It could give you a fucking headache, give you the worst migraine you ever had. Listen to all these talking heads out there in social media. So I just wanted to say that. I just wanted to rant. So guys, if you enjoyed the first video, subscribe, please. Click the bell so you get the notifications when I post my new videos. Thank you to everybody who came over to watch from my the Brad Rules channel, my first channel. And thank you to all the new subscribers. People have decided to subscribe. People are going to stick around. People enjoyed the video. Hit the like button if you enjoyed it. You know what to do, guys. And thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.